His opponent, Yuan, 24, but 5 years as a pro, and has played Ronnie before, so this will be a sterner test.
The first break, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Looking forward to this match. Beside me here is Stephen Holworth, and Stephen, always a great sense of occasion when Ronnie gets to play.
Yeah, it's a privilege, isn't it, to still be witnessing the greatest of all time out there in the arena, under the lights. Of course, it's box office every time he comes to the table. But as you say, he's not pulled any trees up so far in this event. 5-0 win in the opening round against Wang Yuchen, and then defeated Bulcha Revez, the new professional from Hungary, yesterday, 5 frames to 2. He hasn't had to work for those victories, really. Just get the impression this a much sterner test. Yuan Sijun still very young, but has got a lot of experience. And that will be the start that he did not want. To leave an early opportunity and an easy chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan to get his hand going straight away in this match.
One.
His first 2 matches, very comfortable.
6.
Nearly had the feel of a practice match. And once he wasn't put under any pressure as a result of that, just felt at certain times
7.
there was a lack of concentration, a lack of intensity. He's going to have to be close to his best to win today. Of course, had a brilliant win yesterday against Neil Robertson. Seems to be improving all the time. Tends to go under the radar. Straight away, Ronnie identifying the key ball to try and unlock this puzzle. Not sure if the red above the black goes to this right corner. I think it does, but
13.
more importantly, the red below the black went. And again, probably could just slightly develop the red if needed. Okay, if you can
20.
go for the blue here, leave himself a nice angle.
21.
Only playing a couple of minutes, but already you feel this could be a key and crucial shot to the whole frame.
Well, he didn't strike that one as well as he could have done. You could see the pink slightly detached from the top of the pack there. Wanted to catch that pink full in the
Ronnie
face.
O'Sullivan, 21. Yuan Sijun, 6.
Catching the edge, always going to be no good to him. I just detected this morning as well from Mark Allen's game and the opening shot or two from Ronnie there that perhaps the conditions are a little bit slower than they perhaps have been over the past couple of days. Ronnie going up for the blue, landing short. Mark Allen did that a couple of times as well earlier on. Of course, the atmosphere and the temperature in the arena can influence that. Ronnie, of course, one of the best players to be able to adapt very quickly.
Yeah, and actually we've seen earlier today, Mark Allen looked like hand warmers. So maybe after the couple of days, might be slightly damper, or maybe the air conditioning has just resulted in being a little bit cooler and has resulted in a little bit more damp and humid. Just a little bit harder to move the white.
One thing you'll never see from Ronnie is him complaining about the conditions out there in the arena. He just gets on with it, just cracks on, makes the adjustments required. He'll be disappointed he didn't get those reds open there, though, because that was a pretty decent half chance for him early on in this game.
Yeah, I think Yuan was just a little bit unsure of the path of the white, a little bit fearful. Even if he potted, he might go into the reds. You do feel for Yuan to win today. Not only does he need a good start in the match, but also in each frame. Can't afford to let Ronnie have the first good chance. Got to try and get him first. Try and get the winning and losing of the match in his hands. Far easier said than done. And of course, O'Sullivan's such a brilliant front runner. Can't afford for him to get too many frames up ahead of him.
They have met on 5 previous occasions, Ronnie and Yuan. The one occasion Yuan Sijun got the victory over Ronnie was in the semi-final of Group 1 Championship League back in 2022, and Yuan Sijun played very nicely in that match, breaks of 59, 64 and 74 to register a 3-0 win. It's quite comprehensive. For the other 4 occasions, most recently in 2023, the Wuhan Open last 16, Ronnie quite easily dispatched Yuan Sijun 5-1 in that game. This, of course, a best of 9 race to 5 for a place in the last 16. Where a little bit of breaking news, I suppose, or an update to the draw. The winner of this match will take on Hossein Vafai, guaranteed in the next round. Graham Dott, due to health reasons, has had to withdraw from the event after a very good win yesterday against Zhang Anda. I'll be the first to say I hope everything's okay with Graham. Of course, at times snooker feels like your life, but, well, it is your life, I suppose, and everything revolves around it, but your health has to come first, and we wish Graham a swift recovery, whatever the issue is.
7.
Ronnie potting the pink here. Also then frees up the black. You do get the sense today that by playing a better, maybe better caliber, but also more experienced player, might result in a
13.
better performance from O'Sullivan. Might just focus the mind a little bit better.
14.
Can't take any liberties. Can't take the result for granted. Certainly looks very comfortable and at peace with himself, which is a worrying sign for everybody else.
21. 22.
Yeah, and he's had no reason really to get out of first or second gear so far in this event, and you know, the best players, they are so good at just working through them. Energy conservation for O'Sullivan so far, but the event starts to get serious now. And you can just sense that Ronnie
29.
will certainly try to play his way into this event. Find his best
30.
form when it matters most.
Has a very good record in China. I suppose has a very good record everywhere. But it's
37.
definitely an advantage that more often than not in China, his matches are always
38.
the same time. Obviously, he's earned that right. Box office, most popular player. But particularly in China, where sleeping pattern or just your routine can be affected, makes it far more simpler if you can
43.
slip into a routine. Makes it feel a little bit more normal, a little bit more like home.
44.
Again, he's the last man in the world you want to be given any advantage to. He started off well here. That blue there putting him 64 ahead, 59 left. Feel one more red will just put this frame to
49.
bed.
50.
Yeah, he won't be
Oh,
too
no,
bothered
no,
out
50.
about that.
End of
Nice
play.
start. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads 1-0.
请观众尽快就座，先就近就座，等一下再调位置。
Few latecomers just getting settled. Yuan just waiting for
先
them
坐一下，先坐下，不找位
to
置。
get to
先
their
坐一下。
chair. Ideally, of course, would have loved to win the first frame against somebody of Ronnie's caliber.
Second frame， 袁思俊 break。
Wouldn't quite be panic stations if he goes 2-0 down, but it's tough enough to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan without giving him a head start. So first he's trying to create an opportunity, and then if he gets it, he must capitalise.
He's been a prospect and a talent for a long time, Yuan Sijun. I remember back in 2013 when I represented England at the World Under-21 Championships in Beijing as Ronnie O'Sullivan quite effortlessly floats that long red in.
1。
I remember seeing Yuan Sijun at that Under-21 Championship. He was a 13-year-old then. Smallest little player you've ever seen. He was a tiny little thing, a little tartan waistcoat he had on as well. He could barely reach over the table, made the semi-finals of that event, lost to Lu Ning, who went on to win it, defeating Zhou Yulong in the final. He always looked a good player back then, and you probably fancied him to become professional at some stage, and I'm sure, as all young players do,
6。
you dream of moments like this, taking on the greatest players of all time in big arenas. This is his opportunity again. But at the minute, he's been confined to his seat.
13。 14。
You could see from that camera angle, just played a stun shot into the pack. Wasn't a great pack that you try and screw off. See there, if you screwed off, then it
21.
would have brought the white back towards the cushion. But again, that shot was made a little bit easier by the fact that, as usual, he was in absolutely perfect position. This has been a classic
22.
lesson in break building. Straight from the brown, identify the key red close to the black. Open them up. And usually can rely on his excellent cue ball control to do the damage. It's fine margins, but there's every chance he could win the frame from this. Never seems to have one big smash or split of the pack. Always seems to be 2 or 3 little
29.
cannons or developments that he's playing from point blank range that can't really go wrong, because even if the split isn't perfect, he's the option of other reds available.
Ronnie. That red to middle was thinner than he would have liked. He just took a moment 2 shots prior to that on the black, just weighing up his decision as to whether or not to attack the pack again with that red being over the pocket. Decided against it. It's always such a privilege and a pleasure to see how Ronnie O'Sullivan goes about his business. There's always a way to it for him, constructing his breaks and controlling his cue ball. It's an art form.
32.
Yeah, I was looking at the blue, but because it's quite thin, and playing the blue, we'd probably have to play gentle cannon maybe on the pink and pack. Yeah, you know, he wasn't mad keen on it because it could go wrong. Wanted to be more or less straight on the blue so he could just stun down and work off those 3 open reds he had. Doesn't like to gamble or take any chances. Still is a red to middle.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 38.
Yeah, he'd be annoyed with that. Not necessarily even missing that red. A couple of shots ago, not being perfect on the blue. And a let off for Yuan, but also a crucial opportunity for him. Has to maximize opportunities like this.
So 3 reds in open play, but he is nice on this black should he wish to go into that little cluster of 5. Looks ideal to attack here. Surely he'll be on one. Well, would you believe it? The commentator's curse.
8.
He's got shots at red, but nothing easy. It looked like he couldn't fail to land on one there. Just the angle he was coming into them. Felt surely he would have been nicer on one to at least the middle pocket.
Yeah, I don't think he can take the blame for that one, Stephen. I think it was more the fact they didn't hit it harder. Just a little bit harder, just get through, get the white away from the reds. Looks like he's electing to play this one. Difficult shot. Usually when the balls are so close together, there's always a tendency if you're going to miss it, thick. I know he's determined to try and win in one visit, but I don't think it's the shot to play for. I think that's a smarter choice. Play a good safety shot. That's just too risky. One of those instances where if he came to the table and was left like that, he wouldn't have played it. But because he had a chance and a good chance, he felt compelled to try and win it in one visit. But I think it was the smart, patient choice. He will be frustrated, but at least he didn't compound the error by playing a very low percentage shot. That red close to the middle pocket. I'm not sure if it's come up far enough. Yeah, it looks to be very thin clip, if it's possible at all. And the fact that it's not potable put him in trouble. Where can he leave the white? either end of the table. But that red's not available. Didn't play the pot there. Still caught it thin enough that actually caught the jaw. Probably a little bit fortunate. Didn't leave Ronnie this red a little bit easier.
Well, this cue ball's going dangerously close.
Ball.
And it's gone
Ronnie
in.
O'Sullivan 4.
That has to go down as a poor shot for Yuan Sijun. These pockets on a snooker table, they never move. And he's handed a chance back to O'Sullivan. With hand on table, this usually hits the leather.
1.
Fantastic strike. Not ideal on a colour, but at least the red's gone in. And a swift switch to left hand. No issues with this shot. Swinging the cue ball round. Such an advantage, not just to be able to hold the cue left-handed, but to be able to feel comfortable
3.
using the left hand and playing the same sort of shots you would do with your good hand. He doesn't have a good hand, they're both pretty good.
4.
Yeah, and he's so good at playing with his left hand. It's literally inspired a generation. I would say most young players' aspirations of being pro can knock in, if not centuries, 50 plus with their bad hand as such. Again, not just when he uses his left hand, he's able to pot it, but looks like there's no change in technique.
11.
Can't really tell when he has swapped.
$18. 19.
So again, very quickly arrived at frame ball in this frame. This match could very soon get away from
26.
Yuan Sijun. He cannot afford this odd mistake.
27.
Unforced errors are punished at the best of times on the professional circuit. But when you're playing against the GOAT, he's just going to highlight it even more. He's ready for the pounce.
34. 35.
And from what we've seen so far, Fergal, he's looking more so in the groove today than he has done in the previous days. I think he is just slowly playing his way in, getting more up for it as the event goes on. He could be a
42.
handful for anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think the first 2
43.
rounds, mainly because he's playing so young, inexperienced opponents, he just didn't feel for a second he could lose. Didn't put him under any pressure, but probably just didn't have that little bit of bite that you need to play at your best performance. But he knows,
48.
different opponent today. Again, a lovely shot there. Certainly an advantage to be able to play the left hand there rather than the rest, even though the frame was well won.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 49.
With that break of 40-09, Ronnie O'Sullivan extends his lead 2-0.
Third frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
As usual, Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off with his left hand. Pre-termed, he was talking about not just this term, but this season, playing more shots with his left hand. He said it keeps him happy. And I can't quite understand on the break-off. Can't get the white in that same position with his normal good hand as such. There's that saying, talent does what it can, genius does what it must. Crucial frame here for Yuan. Just can't afford to go 3-0 down. Goes 3-0 down. Not only do you think he'll lose, but he could lose quite quickly. Just has to do something just to stop Ronnie's momentum. Quite lucky there. Quite a miss hit, really, has to be said, but the fact he didn't go off helps.
Yeah, big result, I suppose, because had that cue ball had gone in, Ronnie would have had a long red to go at. Again, with hand on table.
Yeah, Ronnie shouldn't have hit the yellow there. And as a result of that, he's left this red. He'll need to be millimetre perfect to pot this and come around the back of the black. That's a great strike. Probably his best shot of the match. He had a very good chance in the last frame, only made 8. Same challenge applies in this frame. Has to score heavy.
Yuan Sijun bases himself at the Ding Zhonghui Academy in Sheffield, as do many of the overseas players.
5.
Earned his professional card by winning the Asian Under-21 Championship. Beat Fang Zhengyi 6-2 in the final there.
6.
It's moments like these he has to draw on all the experience he's gained over the seasons he's spent as a professional member of the World Snooker Tour. But he's still young, he's still learning the game, still learning how to deal with these moments and occasions. He'll have been very excited yesterday,
12.
last night, this morning, anticipating this match, all the emotions that come with it, the adrenaline, that's all what you have to deal with as a player. At the end of the day, this game is all about potting
13.
balls. If you pot your ball and get on your next one, you'll be all right. Easier said than done. But this is a good chance. Couple of reds he's able to just chip away at for now before he has any aspirations of going into the pack.
20.
Now you can see a couple available this side, a couple available from the other side as well.
21.
That red we've just seen at the bottom of the pack, if you can get low on that, be ideal. Maybe the other red is available to the other corner. Just about. Would have liked more of an angle, obviously, in potting it.
28.
Can't help but avoid the pack. Looks like just a little glance in that red, won't really develop them too much. But that red at the
29.
bottom of the pack is now properly in play. And if you can leave the white more or less where it is now, that's he's just checking, maybe a little bit closer to the black cushion. You want to be in a position where when you pot the ball, whether you like it or not, you're disturbing the pack.
So taking this red down the rail,
36.
and then he has to guarantee he gets low on that red. He's going to continue this break. Looking for perfect position on the black.
$37.
So if he's just off straight, he can get the cue ball. Well, he is straight, so it's going to be on and off the cushion. Just had a trace of angle the wrong side of straight there, which helped that shot. Meant he could guarantee himself low on this red. So this
44.
now, key shot. Don't take your eye off the pot.
$45.
Well, no real damage done to the pack there. He's going to have to find another good shot after this black. Push nothing into play.
Yeah, needed to play a little bit lower on the white. Stun into the pack, disturb them more. But might have been a little bit fearful of getting stuck in that pack. But certainly didn't maximise that shot. One red has come available to the left of the pack. So one good pot here.
52.
Keep the break going. Decided to play it up into the corner pocket. Struck it well. Nice piece of cueing. Played at nice pace, giving it every chance. You can see it didn't really touch the sides, but at that pace, even if it wasn't absolutely perfect, still could have went in off the jaws. Again, a sign of confidence to play it at the correct pace.
60.
Feel if you can just pot this red, get out from that pack, be on a colour, should be the frame.
Well, it was a strange reaction off the pack, but there you could see he potted two reds there. That helps massively, because now he just needs to pot this black, doesn't need to worry. You can see the cue ball kind of went forward before it came back. That won't bother him, though. He'll be delighted, I suppose, to see two reds go in. Doesn't need to do anything with this. Pot the black. Ronnie requires snookers. But he's missed the black.
Yuan
Now,
Sijun, 62.
could there be a twist in the tail in this third frame? All he had to do there was drop that black in. I suppose that in itself sometimes adds a little bit more pressure to the shot. You'd maybe rather play for something. Perhaps he built the shot up too much.
Ronnie had a little look. Yuan has had a good look. See, is that a plant? You can see there, can't get cushion first. Certainly you'd like to play side cushion first. Doesn't have that option.
Now what do you do here? If this is close to a three-ball plant, even if you're convinced it's dead set, it's a tough shot to take on.
It looks slightly to the left jaw.
Well, that's a very good shot from Yuan Sijun.
1.
Okay, you can see his disappointment there for not being on the black, but the fact the red went in was key. It means Ronnie needs snookers.
Pink ball.
Surprised Ronnie himself didn't take that plant on if he had a little look at it. The red he took onto the yellow pocket was much more difficult.
One.
That red being over the pocket
8.
actually isn't quite ideal for Ronnie because he's going to need
9.
4 reds, 4 blacks. So that you only need 1 snooker. It'll be tricky to get from that last red to the black.
$16.
Doesn't matter anyway. With that miss, Ronnie O'Sullivan concedes.
The third frame, Yuan Sijun.
Yuan Sijun reduces the lead to 2 frames to 1.
Frame 4, Yuan Sijun to break.
Yuan Sijun will be feeling a lot better having got that frame on the board. He's now involved in the match. 2-1 down. He'd love to win this frame as well. Be level at the interval. Again, the key to that last frame which he won was that he got the first opportunity. As good as Ronnie O'Sullivan is, he can't do anything when he's sitting down. Got to try and get the first chance, get control. And as difficult as it is against Ronnie, try and have the winning and losing the match in your hands. Much better break off this time. Left Ronnie a chance from his break in the second frame. Bit of a misjudgment there from Ronnie. Didn't plan on hitting that red. Chance here ideally if you can get this not just on the cushion but behind the yellow. Just block off that side of the table. That's what he's looking for. The line is more important than the length. It's a good shot. He has left this red for Ronnie, but he's coming down to see, is there any way he can play it and get some level of cover? Or is it just a must make?
He's hit that all right, to be fair. Wasn't too far away. Now, are these two reds lined up close to a plant to this left corner pocket? Possibly not, otherwise Yuan may have toyed with the idea of going for it. But he's not made a very good job of that safety shot. Had to get the cue ball into deep balk there. From where he was, it was poor not to.
It is amazing when you look at the table there. It's 6 foot across, and yet those 3 balls, how often they get hit. When you probably only cover at most 5–10% of the distance. And certainly from where he was, very careless. First element of the shot was not to hit a ball color, but lucky enough got away with it. It's a more traditional and better safety shot there. Fairly basic mistake with a safety again. Shouldn't have really hit the yellow, and as a result of that, Yuan has his hand on the table. Similar to Ronnie a couple of minutes ago, he's just come down to see is there a way he can play this and maybe a cover. Probably looking to see that red above the black go to the left corner. But if he goes for this, he's got to get it. To just totally commit. Just think about what he wants to happen.
The sort of shot he probably knocks in, day out on the practice table. Just didn't like it, did he? Didn't quite fancy himself for it. You could see he was up and down, couldn't quite make his mind up.
Yeah, and the longer he took on it, the less likely he was to pot it. I think he felt it was the right shot. If he'd less time to play it, that's the shot he would have chosen, but just allowed negative thoughts to creep in.
One.
Everything he was fearful of could well happen. Missed the red, let Ronnie in, and potentially lose the frame.
And it's not very often after a series of safety exchange that the high-value colours
7.
are still in play. Quite often we see them push towards a cushion, but this
8.
now a glorious opportunity for the Rocket to try and extend his lead into the interval. He's pretty much got 50 points or so almost guaranteed here, just has to be
15.
mindful of moving his cue ball around.
16. $23. 24. 31. 32.
Just a little bit lower than he would have liked, but could work out to his advantage. Yeah, it's just
39.
anxious look. Can he get past the first red? And with his left hand, maybe a trace. Just get past it.
40.
Yeah, it looks nothing that shot, but actually very skillful shot. Just to turn it over past that first red. Can make the game look very
47.
simple. And of course, the simplicity of the game is mastering the cue ball. There's nobody better than him.
Scores so
48.
quickly as well. In no time at all, he's got the balls at his mercy. You make one little mistake against a player like Ronnie, you leave him an opportunity as this and you fear the worst.
55. 56.
Yeah, the red that Yuan missed, by no means call it a bad miss. But that's why he was so hesitant in playing it. He effectively knew, even though it was the first red, he effectively knew it was black, not quite a black ball, but game ball.
63. 64.
Hasn't made a century break in this event so far, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Plenty of high visits, plenty of big breaks, but no ton.
69.
Chance to maybe rectify that here.
Yeah, it turns out
70.
that missed on red was game ball. Again, it's not a question of being critical of Yuan. It's just trying to give greater clarity to the task at hand to beat Ronnie
75.
O'Sullivan. More or less everything has to be perfect.
And it wasn't necessarily
76.
the execution of the shot that Yuan took on. Obviously, he missed it. It was possibly more the psychology behind it. If there was no other ball on the table, he just gets down and knocks it in. But the fact he wasn't confident over potting it
83.
because of what he would leave, that is what was the difference on that shot. And it has cost him. It's cost him heavily.
Yeah, I think if it was just a black ball game and he just had to pot it, you'd fully expect him to pot it and totally commit. But the significance of the shot just affected his thinking.
91.
It's totally natural and normal to be fearful. But just overcoming those feelings is the crucial part.
95.
Ran out of
Ronnie
position,
O'Sullivan,
but that
95.
95 break puts Ronnie O'Sullivan leading 3 frames to 1.
39. 13 I passed. 保持安静，观众，谢谢。谢谢。Thank you. Frame 5, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Crowd just settling down as Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off in this 5th frame. Just holding back there, Ronnie, just anxious to see, did he get the cover from this red? He hasn't. See there, the white is quite close to the cushion, but still surprised he didn't go for the red to the right corner. It's a shot that comes up a lot of players are quite familiar with. And again, as difficult as it was, might get a better chance, but also might be deemed by Ronnie as a backward step. Sometimes you have to try and force yourself to play the positive, aggressive shot. Again, looks like he's going to go for it this time.
Needs to err on the side of being low on this black if he can, because there is a red to the left of it that will pot. This, though, very tough pot. Oh, beautifully struck. We was right down the barrel of that one. It looked in the whole way. Struck it nicely. Just wanted that cue ball to travel on a fraction further. He has a slight bit of angle on this blue. You can see from this shot, it's just north of that straight line. He can just pinch a little bit of the pocket as well, but that's about all he can do. Doesn't want to risk missing the pot for positional purposes. Looking at leaving the cue ball somewhere around where he's just placed his tip. The red left of the pack will pot to left corner. And may have the option to screw out of there and bring more reds into play. Could possibly push the pink onto the middle pocket if he decides to screw back. Well, it's a big stretch and he's going deep in the cue ball. This now a big shot there. You can see the foot just about on the floor. Oh, dear me, he's butchered it.
Yuan Sijun, 6.
You'd describe that as an awful piece of cueing. His timing went out the window. It was a bit of a stretch. It's possible maybe, as we've seen with the stretch, he might have actually slipped, because it was surprised that he missed it by so far. I hope he slipped.
I think he may have, because he looked at his tip pretty quickly as if he'd had some sort of miscue almost, and I think you might be right. Possibly slipped a fraction enough to mean that his tip just moved off where intended.
It was such a bad hit that if you did slip, you'd nearly make a point of telling your opponent that you didn't miss it off your own back. The fact that he has a red close to the right corner, he can play this in fairly slowly.
It was a big shot for Yuan to take on there because he didn't quite bring the cue ball back far enough from the blue, which meant it was thinner than he might have liked.
8.
Not just the execution of the shot, but the outcome was worst case scenario. If Ronnie can find his cue ball out for a colour here, he could be away. Oh, well.
9.
You'll take that, wouldn't you? What a result he's had there. Holds his hand up. He's absolutely perfect on this black. As if he's not good enough already in amongst the balls. He gets the flicks as well. What chance have you got?
Yeah, Yuan's mistake could
17.
get severely punished. Again, Yuan, mistakes might even be a little bit harsh. It's more just little details. Again, against the best player ever, they matter. Everything gets compounded. Again, you can see no
20.
obvious reason at all, bar possibly a lack of concentration why Ronnie wouldn't win the frame from here.
21.
You just feel his concentration today has been that little bit better than the first 2 days. He's building up nicely. Coming into form and still has absolutely plenty in the tank.
Yeah, and even though these reds are nicely spread, he
28.
still needs to mind his work. Sometimes there can almost be too many options. Just need to keep a clear
29.
mind here, just keep moving his white around as he does so effortlessly. There we see that silky smooth action.
$36. 37. 44.
5
45.
titles to his name last season. Be looking to try and pick a trophy up as quickly as possible in this campaign. This, of course, a huge new event on the World Snooker Tour calendar. Saudi Arabia coming up as well next week. Big events coming up. Good time to start playing well. Plenty of rewards on offer for the players.
51.
And again, in no time at all,
52.
this frame is all but done. Couple more reds required for Ronnie O'Sullivan to go within one of a place in the last 16. Just gone a fraction too far on the blue for comfort. Just digging deep, trying to nip into that cue ball. Hoping for a little cannon. He's got one. Has it worked out? It hasn't.
57.
And I can guarantee he will be distraught by that outcome. We all know Ronnie is a perfectionist, and that was far from perfect. And it made the difference.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 57.
Very unexpected chance here for Yuan. Yeah, not an easy starter. Has to pull it. Yeah, cue that well, nice and smooth. Played to be short of the balk line. Again, good picture from there. Delivered the cue. There wasn't a bit of movement in the body or the head.
I'm not going to say this would hurt
3.
Ronnie because he's so good at just brushing things off, as all great champions are, but it would definitely be a big moment in this match if Yuan Sijun can make this chance count.
4.
Could possibly lead to bigger things for him. The outside chance of a comeback, and as well keeping Ronnie just aware that he is able to take the chance if it comes. He is able to stand up and do the business. Long way away from that just yet. Has to just stay in control of things for the time being. There isn't a ball safe on this table.
Seven.
His best run last season, the quarterfinals at the Northern Irish Open, where he bowed out to Chris Wakelin 5-2.
13.
Has made the semi-finals of a ranking event in the past, Yuan Sijun. The Gibraltar Open when that event was
14.
staged. So he can produce the snooker he needs when it's there. We've just not quite seen it so far today. This could possibly be the start of that. Just guided that black in, didn't need to do anything with the cue ball.
21.
Well, he's had a heavy contact there. You could hear the cue ball erupt as it made contact with the object ball. And just needs to remain positive, Yuan. He's still at the table. He's still on this pink. Body language not all that good. Yeah, good strike.
$28. $29.
Doesn't want to be straight on this pink. Slightly low of straight would be ideal. Yeah, he's perfect. He can screw back just underneath his arm, play for the yellow into the green bag.
$35. $37.
After what happened earlier on in the frame, certainly wasn't going to risk overstretching. Just getting that little extension on. Just take a second or two, just settle himself. Crucial shot. Context of the match. Yeah, didn't put it cleanly, and as a result, by putting it a little bit thicker, white ball didn't run on. Again, should have played it a little bit firmer anyway. The only really way that shot can go wrong is if you don't get past the baulk line. Didn't have to land it absolutely pinpoint. Again, brown's a little bit more difficult, but also the positional play for blue is by no means guaranteed. Just pot the brown.
Oh, he's overcut it. Didn't expect that. It was very thin, and what a missed opportunity that was for Yuan Sijun. Needed the 4 remaining colours. It was the poor shot from green to brown that's cost him there, and you can see what it means to him. He's absolutely distraught.
Would have liked to have an easier blue than this. Just needs the blue, so just make sure of it. Clip it back into the middle pocket.
9. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9. And the free.
Yuan Sijun stays in his chair. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads 4 frames to 1.
From 6, Yuan Sijun to break.
He'll be bitterly disappointed. Yuan Sijun breaking off. Not only is he 4-1 down, has to win all 4 frames. It's the manner in which he lost that frame. Would have been a brilliant frame to win. Just a poor shot from green to brown, compounded by missing the brown. Hard to see him win this match. If anything, it's hard to see him winning another frame. But as best he can, he's got to try and forget that, forget the score. And just break it down, not even just this frame, just a mini game. Just try and get the first chance in this frame. But very easily said. Hard to do, particularly. He's got to be feeling disappointed.
Well, that is an incredible pot, considering he may have felt like he just had the stuffing knocked out of him in that previous frame. That cue ball only just went past the brown. He had to catch that one just right. Very easy to miss that shot thin and overcompensate and see the cue ball career into all the reds. Beautiful pot.
Nicely cued. Nice angle on the blue. It's a little bit busy around about where the black is. There's three reds to the left of the black. He'd like to try and free that up as soon as he can. The red to the left of the three is probably the easiest one to get on. Maybe from there that would free
11.
the path, but just have a look there. If he rolls this red in, yeah, somewhere there, can he pot the black, maybe disturb the red beside it, or might want to consciously avoid that red. Didn't pot it cleanly.
19.
Not sure if he played the cannon on the red. Is he red middle? Again, risky shot here. Might be a level of frustration. Forcing him to play it. Has to get it. Yeah, good putt. Didn't know exactly where the white would go, but deserved a little bit better. Brave shot.
This not nice at all. So close to the object ball, using the rest. It's a nippy, twitchy little one. You've got to get the cue out of there quickly. Oh, he's done very well. That's a very nice shot. There you see him quickly withdrawing the tip of the cue to avoid any double hits there or push shots, and now needs to follow it up with another good shot with the rest. Oh, and he didn't cue that one well. There was movement.
Yuan Sijun, 25.
Yeah, just cued across it. Rather than settling for the angle he had, trying to maximize it. Tried to nick a bit of the pocket.
One.
And it felt like the big shot, didn't it? That red could have been, or could be, Yuan Sijun's last shot of this match. Ronnie O'Sullivan now in amongst them. Red's nicely spread. Be looking to get the job done at this visit. and book a date with Hussein in the last 16. What a match that will be.
9.
Could be tasty. Interesting to see what break-off Hussein does. Stephen Hendry was obviously a phenomenal winner. But I don't think there's been anybody better than Ronnie for getting over the line.
16.
Sprints over the line.
17.
For all his beautiful touch and talent, he's also just ruthless. Be a tendency as you get
25.
close to the line, trying to win, get a little bit more careful, a little bit more cautious. Never seemed to be an issue for him.
You look at his tempo as well, from the start of the match right to the end. He has such a controlled rhythm around the table. Doesn't look like he's rushing or going fast, but you look at how quickly he scores. Just sort of floats around the table. It helps by the fact his white is pretty much always where he wants it to be. Nicely on his next ball. When you're in and scoring, naturally your average shot time decreases.
39.
Everything is just so controlled and effortless for Ronnie. He's got his nose in front in this frame now. Another well-played shot. Had to manipulate
46.
where the black went into that pocket. Playing with plenty of topspin, trying to force it round.
47.
And he's back in prime again.
$54. 55. $60. 61.
Polishing these last few balls off nicely. Again, really good cue ball control.
68. 69.
Always seems to have the white travel the shortest distance possible. And a better performance than yesterday.
76.
A little bit more focused.
77.
Played last year in Wuhan Open. Ronnie won 5-1. Same thing's happened again today. You want to be a little bit disappointed. Just a
82.
couple of mistakes.
84.
Proved very costly. Not saying he would have went on to win it, but he'd still be playing and involved, and no mistake was greater than that brown he missed. He should have went 3-2.
87.
He felt the writing was on the wall. Ronnie going through the gears nicely. As I said earlier, plenty in the tank for the business end of the
91.
tournament. A lot of the top players are playing very well. You still would have to make him the favourite.
96.
And he's certainly put a better performance in today. This then, the pink required for career century. $1,266 tallied up for the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's into the last 16.